The most infamous false Anastasia managed to convince the entire world that she was the daughter of the last Russian emperor, Nicholas II, and it all began with an unbelievable twist. She fell from a bridge. But could Anastasia Romanov have really survived? Or was this all a skillful deception? Throughout the 20th century, Anna Anderson presented herself as the miraculously saved daughter of the last Tsar, and people were eager to believe her. But how could such a massive lie have taken hold? This intrigue spanned decades, and the truth, as always, turned out to be shocking. The animated feature film Anastasia, released 27 years ago, is remembered by many as a bright and captivating fairy tale, but not everyone sees it in the same light. For some, it's a nostalgic memory, but for others, it's a blatant distortion of history, as the movie told a story far from reality. In the film, Nicholas II and his family are not killed by the Bolsheviks, but by an evil sorcerer, Rasputin. And the only one to survive is Anastasia. She lives for 10 years without any memory of who she is until two con artists try to pass her off as the missing princess. And of course, in the film, she turns out to be the real Anastasia. But is this what really happened? Strangely enough, the movie is loosely based on real events. It draws its story from Anna Anderson, a woman who, for decades, claimed to be the surviving princess. Could there have been any truth to her story, or was it simply a clever play on people's emotions and memories? The real Anastasia Romanov died with her family in 1918 in the Ipatiev house. The archives confirm it. So how did Anna Anderson come into the picture, and why did so many accept her as the lost princess? In 1920, something strange happened in Berlin. A policeman noticed a young woman jumping off a bridge into the river. She was saved, but she couldn't explain who she was or what had happened. She refused to give her name and acted in a distant manner. She was soon sent to a psychiatric clinic where she stayed for the next year and a half. No one could figure out her identity, but her scars and wounds raised many questions, as if she'd been shot multiple times. Adding to the mystery was her apparent ability to understand multiple languages: German, Polish, and even Russian. Yet she refused to speak Russian. Meanwhile, European magazines began publishing stories about the mysterious disappearance of the bodies of the Romanov family. Speculation began to grow. Could it be that someone from the royal family survived? One of the patients in the psychiatric hospital, Maria Putert, once noticed the resemblance between a photo of Anastasia and her fellow patient. She started spreading rumors that the woman lying next to her was the surviving princess. This story quickly spread among the Russian emigres in Germany and soon all over Europe. People lined up to see Anna Anderson, whom many already considered the miraculously saved Anastasia. But could this really be true? Anna Anderson did not immediately claim to be Anastasia. However, noticing the growing interest in her, she started to play along. Was it because she wanted to believe it herself, or was it a calculated deception? When visitors came to see her, she would often cover her face with a blanket, which only fueled the belief that she could indeed be the lost princess. More and more wealthy patrons were ready to take care of this miraculously saved girl. When asked how she survived, Anderson would tell a dramatic story. During the execution, she hid behind her sister Tatiana, lost consciousness, and woke up in the house of a soldier named Tchaikovsky who rescued her. The story then continued with a supposed escape to Romania and the birth of a child. But how much of this was true? Historians have long since debunked this tale. There was no soldier named Tchaikovsky among those guarding the Ipatiev house. So, where did this story come from? To unravel this mystery, a former servant of the Romanov family, Alexei Volkov, was sent to meet Anna Anderson. Volkov was one of the last people to see Anastasia alive and was tasked with verifying her identity. Surprisingly, he did not recognize Anderson as the princess. Moreover, she was unable to answer specific questions about Anastasia's childhood, and her responses only fueled more suspicion. Despite this, the number of those who believed in her story continued to grow. But was this a grand deception, or did the impostor genuinely believe in her own lies? The Russian emigres of that time were divided into two camps: those who believed in the miraculous survival of the royal daughter, and those who doubted her identity. And the most surprising thing? By the end of the 20th century, no one could definitively say whether Anna Anderson was in fact Anastasia. It was later discovered that Anna Anderson's real name was Franziska Szankowska. She did suffer severe injuries, but not in the Ipatiev house. They were the result of an explosion at a grenade factory in Berlin. The shrapnel from this explosion left the scars that she passed off as bullet wounds. Yet even this revelation didn't convince everyone. Many continued to believe that Anderson was truly Anastasia and that her past was shrouded in mystery. Anna Anderson lived her life until 1984, never admitting her true identity. It was only in 1991, when the remains of the Romanov family were found, that the final chapter of this story was written. A DNA test confirmed Anastasia died with her family, and Anna Anderson had no relation to the Romanovs. Now, the truth is known. But what led people to believe in this lie for decades? Perhaps it was the desire for a miracle.